My fearless friends, how are you doing? Talking about communication and fear, there is so much to say. My path with conquering my fears in business and then conquering my fears in my personal life is so complex, but I have kind of put everything in down to a few minutes because I want our talk to be very efficient, very effective, so that you can put in practice some of the things that I have done, some very wonderful, very easy to understand exercise that got me to become and enjoy true, core, authentic communication. Most of the times, it is inevitable that we fear of what other people think. What is my family going to um, believe about me if I do things in a completely different way than they would expect that I do that? What would my colleagues say if I speak out loud in a meeting? What do I really think about? What's on my mind? What if my clients hear my real thoughts? Now, the thing here is that you need to find a balance. And I know it is easier said than done to do this. That's why I want you to start this process with you being kind to yourself, knowing that it takes a bit, it takes a while until you get to master your mindset, to master your communication, because it all goes down it comes down to you becoming in on the inside the same as you want to be on the outside, meeting your expectations first and no compromises about this. You need to meet your expectations first and then see how you can mingle this with the persons that you are going to communicate further. How can you find that middle ground balance between who you are, being authentic to yourself, meeting other people's needs, and building very strong communication relationships that are the ones that flourish, the only ones that flourish actually, because if we don't have extremely strong subconscious communication with the people that we work with, it is mainly impossible to do anything at all. Now, let us talk about respect. The magic key, my fearless friends, to creating very strong communication without any trace of fear is respect. It all comes down to the respect that you have for yourself as a person. Obviously, there are thousands of smaller nuances regarding respect, regarding communication. But as I said, it is complex. So I made it, I made the whole talk very effective so that we can take the strongest, the most important part of it all, and that is respect. Once again, respect for who you are. Before anything else, before you thinking about how does the relationship with your other person going to be like, how are you going to communicate with the exterior, I want you to first forget about this. It is your duty and your responsibility, my fearless friends, to focus only on the self respect, your respect for yourself, who you truly are. How you communicate with yourself is 95% of the whole process. Easier said than done? It truly is very easy once you discover who you really are. It's perfectly okay if you have the type of personality that is not that cheerful. It's perfectly okay if you don't feel like smiling all the time just because you may have read in a business book that it's important to keep a smile on your face when you talk to clients, or when you have a meeting, or when you're coaching someone, or when you are presenting a certain speech. It's very important that you do you. I know this sounds very simplistic, but we don't need to overcomplicate things how we sometimes do, because it's in our human nature. This is why we are so fascinating as a species, and I'm in love completely with how our brain and how our mind works. You need to know that once you feel comfortable in your own skin with your true, authentic personality, if you feel like doing a certain thing or saying a certain thing, do it. If you don't, it's perfectly okay. Even if you may think that what will the client say? What will my family say? What are my colleagues going to say? Irrelevant, irrelevant, and completely irrelevant. What do you say? How do you feel? And I want you to think about this and let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this? Because this, to me, was such a strong breakthrough a few months ago, only a few months ago, when I discovered this, that I needed to work on this to make it shorter, to make it more effective, under 10 minutes. Keep me accountable on this, on the timing. Now, after you have been truly authentic, you have decided to accept who you truly are. Frowning more, being very open, being detail oriented, or being the type of person that says, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be the speaker at this meeting. Find someone else. I don't want to take this extra task. I don't want to take that call with the client because I feel that they're not the type of person that I would want to work with. I want you to be truly authentic and to acknowledge that if you make more compromises, because I know you have done this in the past, because God knows I have done so many of them in business, and not only. Once you keep compromising, that's when you lose yourself. You have no idea who you are anymore. Everything that you'll be doing will seem like a struggle, and I don't want you to do that anymore. I was there and it was awful. After you have fully accepted and embraced who you are, how you communicate with yourself, that is the most important part of it all. Just ask yourself this: who am I? What do I like? What makes me happy? What am I interested in achieving really? Only you, and it's about you. Now, let's move respect to the second part of the exercise and think of respecting other people's lives, choices, their opinions, their standards, their ways of living. And that's it. Simple as that. You communicate, my fearless friend, with yourself first. Be authentic to who you are. And I know that you want other people to accept, to acknowledge, to respect, to approve, to appreciate who you are as a person, all the efforts that you have put into building the very strong person that you are now. Obviously, if you are expecting this from other people, it is most obvious that the people that you are talking to, everyone out there, is waiting and expecting for you to do the same. Treat others as you would want to be treated yourself is such an underestimated quote, yet it is so powerful and full of meaning. And once you do this, and you don't need to like what other people do, you only need to accept, to understand, and to respect their choices as they are going to do for you. What are your thoughts about this fearless communication? What do you think about this? What are any questions that you may have? And if you want more, go on my website, roxanapope.com, and download the 7-step guide to permanently conquer your fears, to help you unblock your mind, to rediscover who you truly are, and to keep all your fears away from you for good. Yep, I'm there within 10 minutes. I hope you have an awesome day ahead, and I'll see you tomorrow with another great life topic.